Hey guys, it's Juan from Everything Truth here. I just wanted to get into the basics of this gang stalking program and how it works and the tactics that are implemented against targeted individuals. A lot of people don't realize how this program, well, many don't even know that this program exists unless you're either a perp or you are a targeted individual yourself, or you are associated or have some kind of connection or affiliation with these rogue elements within the government. This is more for the majority of the people that know nothing about gang stalking. Guys, there is a secret war going on right in front of your faces, right under your noses. It's designed to look like everything that it is not, to mask and cover up a heinous holocaustal crime that is being committed out in the open, without shots being fired, without blood being shed, at least directly. All right, I need you guys to look into something called pernicious abuse, ambient abuse, psychological murder. I need you guys to explore something called the Monita Secreta, the secret manual of the Jesuits. I need you guys to investigate and look into who the Jesuits are, study the Jesuit order, look into the Jesuit order philosophy, what it was based on, what it was built for, first and foremost, because it's a military arm of the Vatican, and how it operates in terms of its tactics, its strategies, its modus operandi, and how this society has played significant roles in the destinies of nations and religions and important historical figures, and decisions that were made of which have had tremendous impacts upon the human consciousness and human evolution and progress. All right, because why am I emphasizing on you guys looking into this whole Jesuit order phenomenon is because the Jesuits are the ones that invented gang stalking with the Monita Secreta. I need you guys to look into the Jesuit oath, the oath that the Jesuits pledged to when they joined the society, and how they will do everything and anything, whether it's immoral, unethical, outright savage. It doesn't matter. They have pledged an allegiance to the Pope that they will murder, that they would rape, that they would pillage, that they would destroy, that they would sabotage, that they would do everything in their power to absolutely destroy. Anyone that tries to question them, anyone that tries to impede on their agenda. As I'm being subjected to this constant harassment and psychological warfare techniques being used by the United States government, military, these guys as civilian goons. You see, the military has gone door to door and has conspired with the so-called Neighborhood Watch NGOs, which stands for non-governmental organizations such as InfraGard and Citizens Corps, and all these neighborhood watch groups to conspire to murder, all right, Native Americans in their own turf, in their own land, because they're fighting and speaking up for the rights now, guys. So genocide, treason, high treason of the worst kind, guys. And treason beyond society. It's more treason on the level that God would recognize. You feel me? That's how fucked these guys are right now. And so that's why you have all these apocalyptic events going on right now with all these natural disasters throughout the world. You have all these problems going on with the United States government, politicians being accused of sexual assault, and all these crazy things going on right now within the government itself. that leaves these people exposed to the true and all omnipresent power of the creator of the universe for all of the crimes they've collectively committed against not just Native Americans, but African descent people, Asian descent people, islanders, Australian aboriginals, and the rest, guys. I mean, I'm not talking out of my ass. This is historical facts. Go ahead, look into them. Look into the so-called age of discovery, and I challenge you to argue with me in trying to disprove and discredit me on that topic in which I am elaborating on here.
This book right here was published in the year 1723, and it's called the Monita Secreta, or the Secret Instructions of the Jesuits. And the Jesuits are a religious group that I think originated during the Holy Roman Empire, and they swear allegiance to the Pope. And this book right here was written by an ex-Jesuit who describes some of the exact methods of the organized stalking and harassment that we're experiencing now. So we're just going to look at chapters 10 and 11. If you want to read the whole thing, it's on openlibrary.org. I'll try to remember to leave the link below. But here it's saying it will be necessary to dismiss as an enemy of the society anybody who has alienated their devotees or friends of their churches, or persuaded any rich person or any person well disposed to do so. And then it says also those who at the time of disposing of their property have shown greater affection for their relatives than toward the society. And that refers to something that they mentioned earlier in the book. I don't have time to go into with you guys right here, but I am going to upload some more videos this weekend going through this. But earlier in the book, they talk about certain members that they try to manipulate into giving all of their property and wealth to the society. And here it's saying, okay, if, basically if they approach someone and try to manipulate them into giving their property and wealth to the society, and that person shows a greater affection for their relatives, meaning, let's say, for example, that person has a house and property that they want to leave to their child, and the society approaches them and wants them to leave their property and wealth to the society, and they respond saying, well, no, I'd rather leave it to my child. That what they're saying right here is that they will dismiss that person as an enemy if they'd rather leave their property to their children, for example. But it says, but because that's basically not a just reason for dismissing somebody, it says, but that they may not afterwards complain of the cause of their dismissal, let them not be dismissed immediately. Instead, let them be harassed with chapters and public censors. Let them be restrained from recreation and conversation with strangers. Let them be deprived until they are driven to murmuring, and then let them be dismissed as persons pernicious to others by bad example. So basically they're saying that they know that what they did to that person is unjust. So what they're going to do is they're not going to dismiss them right away, but instead harass them until they start murmuring, quote unquote, and then they're going to say, oh, we dismiss them because of that, because they are pernicious to others. And that's something that if you're a targeted individual, that I know in my situation, I've been a targeted individual for 20 years, and that's exactly what they've been doing to me. And that's actually described in Isaiah 10. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So in other words, they're calling attention to bad things that they themselves have caused. For example, they'll persecute someone and try to drive them or provoke them into doing something, and then if the person actually does something to, for example, defend themselves, then they'll point at that and say, see, they're a bad person. Okay, they want you to do something so that they can try to prove that you're a bad person. So don't ever let them provoke you into doing something, even if it's in self-defense. Which is obviously extremely difficult, right? Okay, so, but it's for the greater good. So here in chapter 11, it goes even further. It says, since those who are dismissed are at least conscious of some secrets, let them be persuaded to promise in writing that they will never write or speak anything injurious to the society, and at the same time let the superiors preserve in writing their evil inclinations, failings, and vices, which they themselves have at some time given according to the custom of the society. So it's talking about confessions here. It's saying that they are going to use their Catholic confessions against them. It goes on to say, it must be contrived that we may keep up an intimate correspondence with someone in the family in which the dismissed reside, and as soon as anything is discovered blamable or deserving of censure, let it be spread abroad amongst the common people by means of persons of inferior degree who are attached to us. So it's saying they're going to plant someone that is close to that quote-unquote enemy, who in reality is really a good person because they're just trying to take care of their own children there. I mean, it tells you that's just very, in a straightforward way, that they are actually targeting good people. And it says right here that they are planting people to spy on them, and as soon as they do anything that is deserving of censure, then they're gonna just spread the information to all the common people. But it says, if they commit nothing worthy of censure and conduct themselves in a praiseworthy manner, then let their virtues and actions which are deserving of commendation be depreciated by subtle insinuations and doubtful expressions until the esteem and confidence which is attached to them is diminished. And I can tell you guys, this is exactly what this network in the present time is doing. I can tell you, in fact, I was just telling you last week that that's what's happening to me, that it's never a direct accusation. It's always just these insinuations and these implications and rumors and things like that. That's how they work. So, I mean, those of you that are targeted just know that's exactly what they're doing. And this was written in a book several hundred years ago, the Jesuits. This stems from the Holy Roman Empire. This organized stalking and harassment that we are going through started with the Holy Roman Empire. Who knows, maybe even sooner than that.
They rule by secrecy. They're masters of deception. If you've heard their name, if you see them in power, they have handlers. They have people right behind them or right next to them to make sure that they don't get out of line. And those are the names you don't hear, which we'll be bringing up a little bit later. But basically, they've been behind the scenes for a very long time. They've caused a tremendous amount of pain and suffering. Just the Spanish Inquisition is one. World War II, Operation Keyhole, when they sent over 5 million Orthodox Christians back to Russia after World War II in sealed cars with Dwight D. Eisenhower and FDR's approval. And those people were basically either put in the gulags or killed when they arrived in Russia because they fled Russia to get away from World War II, and then they were sent right back. So they've held military power, and they use it through what they call Jesuit assistancies. And these assistancies are in Central Europe, East Europe, South Europe, West Europe, North Latin America, Africa, East Asia, South Latin America, and the USA assistancy. And through these assistancies and through their religious connections, they are able to affect policies of their own secret ways to influence governments, to influence the financial world, to influence the media, whatever direction they want to take. And when you get into the whole legacy of the Jesuits, you're going back easily 500 to 1,000 years or more. And maybe Bruce, you can talk about that from 1,000 years ago, how they got started with that.
You know, they do everything is in a veil of secrecy, so we try to piece together as much as we can. I do want to read you a quote here, which I think everybody has heard of, but maybe the origins are a little bit cloudy, is the ends justifies the means. That is the Jesuit maxim. So whatever it takes to get it done, regardless of collateral damage, doesn't matter. They're going to do what they're going to do, and that's because their sole aim is to accomplish that specific task.
What is it that they're trying to get done?
Ultimately what they're trying to get done is to bring in the New World Order. The New World Order is going back to the old way it was. The old world order, which is a feudal serf system, fascism, global fascism, period.
The church is after people that know the truth. They're not after bad people, they're after people that know the fucking truth.
That's the boy we agreed to kill! That's the boy we agreed to kill!